The United States and China are the two largest economies in the world, and with this impressive economic strength has come immense pressure. These countries want to ensure that their economic and financial interests are secured, and they're doing so with military prowess. In the past, China has positioned itself as the most consequential rival to the United States. Beside technological advancement, there have also been risks of a military confrontation between both countries. A perfect example of the rivalry between both superpowers is the conflict in Taiwan. China has been looking to re-establish its presence in Taiwan for years now, but Uncle Sam has been playing the role of big brother and saying nope. And with the Ukraine war still ongoing, there have been concerns that China could reinforce its hold on Taiwan, Hong Kong, and several other territories. But the US government has continued to hold its stance that these countries are independent and free from Chinese control.
I don't want a Cold War with China. I just want to make China understand that we are not going to step back. We are not going to change any of our views.
So are you saying that the United States would come to Taiwan's defense if China attacked?
Yes, we have a commitment to do that.
But with so many commitments, you might be wondering how the US government plans to protect its interests as well as those of its allies. Well, it's through good old-fashioned brute force. And while China's influence has been growing, the US Navy has also been improving its ability to defend itself and its allies with weapons. Join us on this journey as we examine some of the craziest stuff the Navy is cooking up. Enemies of America, beware. US-China tensions rising. The tensions between the United States and China have been growing significantly over the years, and to respond to the US, China has been touting its DF-17, a hypersonic missile unveiled in 2019. The DF-17 has been tested 7 times with a 100% success rate. It's demonstrated impressive accuracy, whether it's for weapons delivery or conventional strike missions. And the missile can also perform in-flight maneuvers, meaning that it's adaptable in just about every environment. So how does the US Navy plan to combat this new tool? The laser USS Gerald Ford. In response to the Chinese DF-17 and other associated tools, the Navy has developed the laser-equipped USS Gerald Ford, an upgrade to the USS Gerald Ford. Developed in October 2022, the $13.3 billion laser-equipped Ford is literally the largest, most expensive warship to ever feel the salty taste of the seas. It comes with a 5-acre flight deck as well as new technologies that can easily make it the most powerful warship in the world for at least the next 2 decades. Yeah, that's how you know the Navy is spending a boatload of money when they can build next-generation weapons with such confidence. The laser-equipped Ford holds 4 squadrons of fighters and over 60 planes. Its air power is stronger than that of over 60 nations, and it can easily house more stealth fighters than you can find in all of Russia's armed forces. Somebody please check on Vladimir Putin. The warship stands at over 9 stories over the waterline and weighs about 97,000 tons. For context, that is more than 32,000 tons heavier than the largest battleships in World War II. But that's not exactly the craziest thing. The lasers on this ship ensure that it will be able to handle missile attacks without breaking a sweat. Think about it like this: compared to lasers, hypersonic missiles operate slower than a turtle on land. Plus, as long as there is a connected power source, a laser comes with an unlimited magazine. So it doesn't matter how many DF-17 missiles the Chinese military sends our way, with the laser-equipped USS Gerald Ford, clearing them out will be like swatting mosquitoes out of the air. The laser USS Gerald Ford comes with a Bechtel A-1B reactor, which is capable of powering the ship for 50 years without refueling, so the ship's laser weapons will have more energy than they'd ever need. The reactors are also part of why the laser-equipped USS Gerald Ford can move so fast while eliminating targets. Think of the Flash, but without the humor and good heart of Barry Allen.
Go Flash! Go Flash! Go Flash! Go Flash!
Okay, Barry, why don't we take a break from the dancing?
Yo!
A flight-destroying laser weapon. While we were all locked up in our homes due to the coronavirus pandemic and stockpiling toilet paper in 2020, the Navy's Pacific Fleet announced that it had tested a new high-energy laser weapon that would be able to literally destroy an aircraft while it is still in flight. According to images and videos provided by the Navy, they had tested the weapon on the popular amphibious dock ship USS Portland. The laser was described as a high-energy class solid-state laser that could easily neutralize a drone aircraft. The images showed the laser coming out of the warship's deck, while short video clips were taken showing what appeared to be the target drone burning after being hit. And to show how top secret this test was, the Navy literally didn't give any specific location for the demonstration of the defense and weapons system. All they said was that the tests occurred somewhere in the Pacific on May 16, 2020. This means that things like the power of the weapon itself weren't disclosed. However, according to a separate 2018 report from the International Institute for Strategic Studies, it's expected to be a 150 kilowatt laser. And the Navy confirmed that the weapons can be effective against both drones and enemy warships, meaning that it essentially defends both the skies and the seas. The USS Zumwalt. When you think about a naval force, the first thing that comes to mind is a ship. After all, it's impossible to operate a proper navy without having a fleet of ships. One of the most advanced ships being used by the US Navy is the USS Zumwalt, a colossus of a ship that literally strides the seas like the Kraken or some other mythical sea monster. The USS Zumwalt was developed via a joint venture between companies like Bath Iron Works and Ingalls Shipbuilding. Designed as a commemoration of the Navy's 241st anniversary in 2016, the ship was a marvel of its time for sure. It comes with a state-of-the-art electric propulsion system, a wave-piercing tumble-home hull, and cutting-edge warfighting weaponry installed. Known as the world's largest guided missile destroyer, the Zumwalt is a mechanical and scientific marvel. The ship has an unconventional build with sharp angles that allow it to be stealthy and evade any radar beams sent to find it. And with a size of 600 feet, you'd think that the Zumwalt was such a chore to manage, but not at all. The ship is easily manned by less than 150 sailors.
Previous class of destroyers have about 300 sailors, so we have about half the number of sailors running a ship that's 1.5 times the size.
Besides this, the Zumwalt itself is a ship that was built for handling long-distance targets. Okay, take this for context. North Korea, one of the biggest rivals of the United States in terms of military reach, is still unable to get missiles that can hit every part of the country. For the USS Zumwalt, firing missiles that will be able to hit North Korea would be a cakewalk.
North Korea.
With their guns, they could reach in from either side of the peninsula pretty far in to cover a large portion of the territory of the peninsula.
Now, with such impressive capabilities, you must be thinking about the possible trade-off of the Zumwalt. Well, there is one, and it's money. When the project for the Zumwalt was first announced, the Navy had planned to purchase about 32 of these bad boys. But like pretty much every other military contract, the price of the Zumwalt continued to skyrocket. And when the warship was finally commissioned, each unit came with a price tag of $4.2 billion. Yep, that's billion with a B. Facing such an uphill cost climb, the Navy quickly dropped its order from 32 to just 3. Yeah, smart move, guys. The Navy's laser weapon system. When it comes to maritime warfare, one of the most dangerous spots on the surface of the Earth is the Persian Gulf. The Gulf is one of the most prominent channels for shipping oil and other precious materials. Attacks on the Persian Gulf began in the 1980s with the start of the Gulf War itself, and since then different wars have happened, all of them escalating. Everyone wants to control the trade and movement of oil across the world, so you can understand why the Persian Gulf is so critical. And with the different wars being fought around this region over the past few years, the United States has undoubtedly had a vested interest in ensuring that the region is safe. To help maintain this peace, the US Navy has made significant strides in equipping its warships, and in 2014 the Navy debuted the world's first active laser weapon. Called the Laser Weapon System, or LAWS for short, this new weapon system was deployed on the USS Ponce amphibious transport ship. Speaking about the weapon, Captain Christopher Wells of the USS Ponce explained, "It is more precise than a bullet. It's not a niche weapon system like some other weapons that we have throughout the military, where it's only good against air contacts, or it's only good against surface targets, or it's only good against, ground-based targets. In this case, this is a very versatile weapon. It can be used against a variety of targets. According to sources, the LAWS moves literally at the speed of light, and for comparison, this is literally 50,000 times the speed of an intercontinental ballistic missile. A laser weapons system officer aboard the USS Ponce explained that the LAWS literally throws massive amounts of photons at an incoming object. This means the Navy doesn't have to worry about things like wind speed or range. And with the Navy's ability to engage targets at the speed of light, it really doesn't matter where the target is. As long as they're perceived as a threat on the high seas, they can be targeted and destroyed. Anyone looking to attack the United States through the seas will surely have a tough time finding a way through. And with its incredible precision, the Navy explained that they can limit casualties and other possible risks, so they can focus on warships and targets they believe to be threats while ensuring that no one else gets to feel the wrath of the LAWS if they don't have to. The Helios system. Lockheed Martin is pretty much the Stark Industries of the real world, and when they came up with something for the Navy in 2022, it truly was a banger. According to reports, the company delivered a high-energy laser with integrated optical dazzler and surveillance systems to the Navy. Known as Helios, this system was delivered as a completion for part of a $150 million contract awarded to Lockheed back in 2018. Following several tests, one of which was also conducted on the USS Ponce, the Helios system was eventually deployed on warships owned by the US Navy late in 2022.
Helios has a long-range intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capability. Though Lockheed Martin hasn't revealed the details, indications are that the aiming system of Helios is capable of high-definition, high-powered digital magnification.
Want to know what's crazier? The Helios system can literally be adapted for different other warships and combat systems. So as long as the Navy needs it for something, Helios will be there to answer. Helios is a 60-kilowatt defense system that provides directed energy capability to the Navy fleet. It features a deep magazine, a low cost per kill, and accuracy in delivering missiles while firing at the speed of light. Interestingly, however, the weapon is still in the final stages of development, and the Navy has explained that its destructive capabilities could eventually be grown into 150 kilowatts. Helios will come with different uses. The weapon system was primarily built to take out small missile boats that enemies might deploy while at war with the US Navy. However, the system will also be capable of holding its own against drones and unidentified aerial vehicles. So if the Navy sees a flying device that it can't identify and would like to eliminate, the Helios system is up to the task. China's influence on global geopolitics has been growing, but the US government remains confident that it can protect itself and its allies from any enemy coming from the Far East. With this new set of tools and warships, I think it's safe to say that any Chinese warships looking to infiltrate the country should be prepared to go the distance. So what do you think about these weapons? Are they necessary for protecting world peace? Drop a comment below and let us know your opinions.